Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. And I hope all of you must have acted accordingly and you have selected the paper first. Second is that you must have got the study materials accordingly. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So still, if anyone wants to change the subject or you have wrongly taken any study material, then still you have time. Do it by the end of this month. That means before starting of the class, what we are going to conduct during the month of June. Before that, please complete those tasks so that what will happen, we will finalize it. Right. So we will finalize regarding the uh, will finalize regarding the paper students, those who have opted of different papers. So that is what is the concern thing right now, because some of the students, they are still confused and they are giving call to me and asking about the selection of paper and all. So please finalize the paper what you have opted, but you can have the option to attend the classes. Why I am telling by the end of this month, please attend the classes. If you have time, then you attend the class. If you have time, then you attend the class. And if the subjects, I know the subjects, all the subjects are required, but here we have given option. The reason is that the reason of giving options that if like you can select the paper, because out of 3000 mark you need to select 6 papers here. You need to appear the examination of 3000 marks. So that's why altogether 8 into 8 into 3 24, and another 8 papers are there in your fourth semester. So here the options we have given. So select it, finalize it. Okay, so that is what first. Then second is that regarding this class, we are conducting it initially in the offline online mode. So we are supposed to conduct the classes in on offline mode completely, but some of the students, they have requested, and we are also concerned for them so that you can attend the class. But offline class we are also conducting in the month of June. So please attend those classes also if you can able to attend. Now my paper is business policy and strategic management. Right. So this paper is combined with 4 terms. Right. So 4 terms are there. One term is your business, another is your policies, another term is your strategies, and another term is your management. So combinedly, so 4 terms are there in this paper. So business, policies, strategic, management, these are the 4 terms are there. Now, now I could completely off कर दिया, off कर दिया, sort out. Now, we will discuss this paper in a systematic manner. So what I will do, I will give one question. I will discuss one question from each unit, 1 or 2 questions from each unit, and I will complete it. So in first unit, just write 1 or 2 questions, okay, so that we can discuss those questions in this class. The first question, write it: define business policies. What is business policies? How it is important in the process of management. How it is important in the process of management. So what is that? First, define business policies and how these business policies are important in the process of management. So this is one question. It is, see, you may not get the same question in the examination, but from the your syllabus, I am trying to read out the questions. Then next is, what is strategic management? What is strategic management? What is strategic management? And write down the nature, characteristics, and process of strategic management. So what is strategic management? What is strategic management? And write down the nature, characteristics, and process of strategic management. So what is strategic management? And write down the nature, characteristics, and process of strategic management. So what is strategic management? And Write down the nature, characteristics, and process of strategic management. What is strategic management? Write down the nature, characteristics, and the process of strategic management. Okay. The next question, discuss the process of strategic management. Discuss the process. Discuss the process, how the process of strategies, how the process are to be implemented, how the strategies are to be implemented in a systematic process. That is another question. Next, another question you may get, write down the role of the strategic manager. The role, responsibility of the strategic manager. Write down the role, responsibility of the strategic manager. Write down the role, responsibility of the strategic manager. Okay. So these are the questions which you may get in from Unit 1. Another question, discuss the levels of strategic management. Levels. What are the levels are there? You may get these questions also, the types of strategic management. What are the different types of strategic management? Right? So these are the questions which we discuss in this class. Okay. So now,
Sir, last one question repeat, please.
okay, ma'am. Which one?
Last one, sir. Label.
The types of strategic management. What are the different types of strategic management? Okay. Now, a simple question which I wanted to know, I wanted to know whether you have some idea or not. The question is that how these two terms are different from each other, whether these are similar or whether these are different. These two are, one is your strategy, another one is your policy. Now, different terms we are using in the organization. See, different terms, and all those terms are bit similar, interdependent, or related but different from each other. What are those terms? One is we set the company's vision. Company vision we are setting, company mission we are setting, then company objective we are also setting. Okay, we are setting the company objective. Then as per the objective, we are fixing the role and responsibility. We are fixing the role and responsibility. Then we are also fixing the assignment. Assignment. Once assignments are set or identified, then we'll think of accountability. See, these terms we are using, and in this term, different strategy, policy, norms, rules, and regulations are considered. In this business world, but a business world environment, this is all about your business environment. In this business environment, we think of to introduce, we think of to implement strategy, we think of to implement policies, we think of to introduce, I'm sorry, before policy, one is principle. Principle, sorry, I have omitted that. Strategy or policy with a term principle, then policies, then norm, then rules and regulations. Now, in this business environment, we consider strategy, we implement policies, we implement principles, we implement norms, rules, regulations to set the vision, to set the mission, to identify the objective, to find out the role and responsibility, then to give the assignment, and next to fix the accountability. So this is related to organization structure, designing of the organization and its structure. Organizations are always based on its vision and mission. Once it is identified, then we'll think of objective, the role, responsibility, then assignment, then accountability, right? Now, these things are only possible when we can think of these parameters. What are those parameters? This is all about your strategy. This is all about your principles, policies, norms, rules, regulations. I just wanted to give you some idea on that. So this is how the organization is functioning. Okay, you may refer to different books authored by different authors. Somehow, if you read all those, you will find these are the terminology which are used to run the business, which are used to work with the people and compete your organization with the competitors. Right now, tell me how these two terms are related. These two terms. Any idea? Can anyone share something? How policy and strategy are related? How policy and strategy are related? Any idea? How policies and strategies are related to each other? Anyone can tell something?
Sir, each strategy needs some policy to form because without policy, the strategy cannot be successful, or strategy cannot be reached in a proper manner.
Very good. I accept.
The policies are made to execute the strategy and achieve the organizational goal.
Okay. One second, please tell me.
Policies are made to achieve, to attain the strategy and achieve the organizational goal.
Okay.
To execute the strategy, in fact.
The two statement, what one you have told, another girl told. Now these are the statement, and I can conclude it that Honda agona kukuda. Which one will come first? But see, the policy and strategies are always interlinked. You can only define when you can about the strategy. What strategy is can only be defined when you will identify the basic characteristics of strategy. Right? Now, strategy is a term which is usually used in the war field. Right? It was earlier, at the same time, the strategies were only applied. At what point of time we will apply strategy? When some competition is there, when some war is there, point of time we go for strategy. So unless the competition is not there, unless any kind of war is not there, unless any kind of challenges are not there, we never think of strategy. Right or wrong? We never think of strategy. Nowadays, in this competitive environment, in this challenging environment, every day we adopt new kind of strategies. It is a regular phenomenon. Otherwise, the term strategy was identified or used initial period in the war field. Strategy application way. First. Second is that strategy identifies your future goal, your future steps. Okay, so it means, suppose for example, you are playing chess. How many of you can play chess? Chess game khelanti? Anyone? Anyone knows how to play chess?
मैम अच्छे ही बनाए होंगे मैम आपका फोन
Not professional, sir. Just
दीजिए ना लगा दीजिए ना फोन क्या मैसेज कर
chess game में we can think of application of strategy.
क्वेश्चन लिखा रहा है 4 क्वेश्चन लिखा है पहला क्वेश्चन लिख नहीं पाया क्या बोला सर
अरे ये
खाली कैरेक्टरिस्टिक तक लिख पाए
अरे please mute yourself. Okay. Now just identify who is the student or tell her to mute. Okay, so that we can continue the class. Now see, strategy in chess, we apply strategy. Usually we believe that in chess, if you want to win, then you need to think of the 10 steps ahead. Right? You need to think of 10 steps ahead. You can able to know the 10 steps ahead, then only you can think of to win in the match. So it is a mind game. Strategy is a mind game, which is only known to a particular group of people or to one individual. Right? Now, for example, let's in business world, let's say, suppose for a game, suppose we are playing a game like a cricket match house. Just differentiate between strategy and policy through one example. There. Now going on between India and Australia, let's say. Now what happened? India started playing batting, and what happened? The first down, second down, third down, gone. Okay. Then all of a sudden, the captain, let's say Dhoni, had decided. In fact, the fourth down is one person who is supposed to go and to bat. Now all of a sudden, the captain changed the batting order and deputed the last one to bat. And the person who was supposed to go at the last and went in the fourth down, and he sticked and he played well, and India scored a very good score. Right? Now it was a surprise for the opponent, and it was the strategy of Dhoni, right? Because it was not known to anyone. Now what happened? After a couple of months, India also in the same situation, playing against someone else. Let's say this time India is playing against England. And after a couple of months or year, now what happened? The same situation happened. Then what Dhoni will do? Dhoni also applied the remembering the past. He applied the same, and suddenly he changed the batting order and sent the person or the last person, okay, to bat in the fourth down. Right? Now what happened in that? The last person again stick and he scored well, and India got a very good score. Now, in the suppose in the third situation, same kind of situation is there. Now, when Dhoni will go for the same kind of step, and at that point of time, we cannot say it is Dhoni's strategy, it is Dhoni's policy. Are you getting my point? Why we are saying not Dhoni's strategy, rather than Dhoni's policy? The reason is that it is known to all. Then if this condition is there, then Dhoni will do that. Are you getting my point? Are you clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the thing is that if the strategy or the step what you are going to take is known to others, then it will never be considered as strategy. It will always be considered as the policy. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes,
Now,
sir.
strategy identifies the policy of the organization. Okay, now strategies are always, in fact, it always not known to all. In fact, if it is known to others, known to all, then what will happen? We know your steps, what you are going to take. So in that condition, we need to change it. So when you are changing or taking some new steps, then we can say it is your strategy. Now this is one. Strategies are always research based. And strategy always by default will become successful. A strategy when we adopt, when some crisis is there, when some uncertainties are there, when some challenges are there, when some competition is there, at that point of time, we wanted to win. Now, strategy is always reflected as win-win approach. Point about strategy. It is always identified as win-win approach. What do you mean by win-win approach? Strategy, if it is applied, then you have to win. If you are not winning, if you are losing, then it is never identified as strategy. It is failure. Now, strategy when we are applying, that means you will certainly win. So when we are applying strategy, we need to apply it with proper research, proper involvement, knowledge, proper acceptance, so that what will happen, you will win. Now, strategy, whenever we are applying, we must win. If you are losing, then we cannot identify the step as your strategy. Strategy by default is known as winning in the match. So these are the various terms are added in strategy. Now, strategy is sudden, it is instant, it is not known to all. Periodically, one will know, and it's a top level activities. It is a systematic approach. So this is all about your strategy. Just write down the basic characteristics of strategy so that you can elaborate the points. Now the points what I'm telling, each point will give you one definition. Each point will give you one definition. Now strategy, first step is your strategy is a systematic process. It is a systematic stepwise process. So stepwise, and it must also systematic. It is systematic and stepwise process. Okay, this is the first. Next is strategy is always a top level practice. Not top level. That means the head of the organization. No. In that group, the person who is leading, it is leader based activity. So the person who is leading, who is in charge of implementing this strategy. Suppose in your group a person is there. Okay, now in your group a person is there who is in the group. That means he is in charge of implementing the strategy. First is strategy is a systematic process, stepwise process. Next means it is top level practice. Then next is strategies are always research based. It is always research based. With proper knowledge, with proper research, we need to implement, because we never take any chance in case of strategy. If you do not have the information, if you do not have that kind of knowledge in the process, still if you are going with the strategy, then chances of failure is more. No, you need to convert the chance into acceptance. So you need to go for achievement. Strategies are always action and achievement oriented. Now that means strategy always aim towards actions and achievement. So what is that? Strategy is a systematic stepwise practice. It is a top level practice, top level activities. It is always research based, and it always aim to achieve or to implement actions, which also includes with tricks and techniques. So it will always include.
Sir,
Yes.
previous one, sir, please. Previous one point, sir. Please.
Always aim towards action and achievement. So it always aims towards actions and achievement. Then it always includes trick. It is also thibo. So strategies are skill based. Strategies always included with tricks and techniques. It is full of tricks, full of techniques, right? Next is strategy is an evaluative process. Hey, please, particularly, not so much to mute kar debi. It is all about evaluating process. So you can only succeed. Why evaluating? You need to evaluate properly before implementation of strategies. Right? Now, we never take any chance. We need to convert from this side to that side. So that means you are supposed to lose the match. You have taken a step. You have adopted a strategy. With proper evaluation, the chances of winning is increasing. Next is strategies are always goal oriented. Strategies are always goal and objective oriented. So ultimatum is that suppose you are here and you need to reach here. That is what is your goal. Now you saw some obstacles are there, some challenges are there, then what you are doing, you are changing your path and you are reaching to your goal. So the changed path is all about your strategy. Now, without evaluating the path, if you are moving there, then what will happen? Chances of failure is there. So, what are those things? So, it is a systematic stepwise practice. So, the person who is leading, he always knows the steps, what to be taken, what to be, in which way to go. Then it is always research based. So, proper research, collection of data, analysis of such data is to be done. So, without that knowledge, if you are moving, then again chances of failure is there. So, now strategy always aim towards achievement. Then strategy is full of tricks and techniques. Then strategy is always mostly an evaluating process and it is always goal oriented. Then next is strategy always adopted instantly, instant and sudden by the top level executives. Okay, our strategy we never discuss much on that. Now that means we never discuss about the steps what we are going to take in different crisis situations. We never discuss with all, but we always prepare our people. We need to prepare them to face such challenges. That doesn't imply that we will not prepare them to face such kind of situation. So I am going to prepare for it earlier, but whether we are going to take that step or not, we never disclose. So dekho chinta karo, when war is going on, we adopt strategy and all those are systematically applied. It is instant, it is sudden. Suddenly you need to implement. Now, another is that strategy always encourages. Now, organization mostly adopt strategy to encourage participation, to motivate participation. People will become demotivated if the same kind of thing happens. If you are going with the same kind of situation again and again, then what will happen? It is what I call a periodic kama bhaliya haigala. No. So what you need to do, you need to change the practice so that people will involve, people will know. So that is what a strategy usually encourage the people to participate more, encourage the employees or the participants. I know strategy is a teamwork. Without that, we cannot function. But these are the initial thing to be adapted in strategy. And strategies are always, another is that it is situation based. Strategy is situation based. Right? So what do you mean by strategy? These are the basic characteristics of strategy. I hope you can remember. Write the definitions. Telling the definitions from this point. Just write one definition, one or two definitions. Okay, so that you can remember these points as well as you can write the definition. Strategy is a systematic, stepwise, top-level activities. What is that? Strategy is a systematic, stepwise, top-level activities which depends on proper research. So that the leader can convert the situation.
Sir, can you repeat again?
How to define it? So it is a systematic, stepwise, top-level activity depends on proper research. So that the leader can handle the crisis. So that the leader can handle the crisis and can step competitive practices and can implement competitive practices. Strategies are always, next definition, strategies are always combined with actions with achievements. Instant action achievement. So combined with actions and achievement. which includes multiple tricks and techniques. Multiple tricks and techniques. Multiple tricks and techniques. Within the business world. Multiple tricks and techniques within the business world. Strategy. The success of strategy. The success of strategies. Or the successful outcome of strategies, right? The successful outcome of strategy depends on the evaluation practices. Evaluation practices which must lead towards the achievement of the goal and objective of the organization. One more definition. Strategies are always adopted instantly or suddenly. Instantly and suddenly. Instantly and suddenly. And it also gives surprises to the competitor. And also gives surprises to the competitors. And also gives surprises to the competitors. Surprises to the competitors. Okay. So now you can write, I hope if you can remember these terms, then you can write the definition of strategy. There is no need to, I have not opened this study material, what you have got from us. Now, if you read these points, then you can relate the definition, whatever there in this study material. Okay, now these all about the different steps. So if you are getting a question, define strategy and what are the different characteristics of strategy, these are all the characteristics of strategies. I hope you can remember it. Okay, so what are the characteristics of strategy? It is a systematic stepwise activities. Okay, then it is top level activity, then it always research based, then it is all about aiming towards actions and achievement. It combines with tricks and techniques. It is always an evaluating process so that we will never fail. Why? Because strategy is all about win-win approach. It always depends on win-win approach. Then strategies are always goal-oriented. You should not deviate. You should not deviate your path towards your achievement. So it is always win-win approach. Then strategies are sudden or instant. Okay, so you need to adapt it instantly. You need to take steps instantly. So you need to change your steps. Suddenly you will change the direction. That is all about strategy. So that's why you should have become very skillful, very knowledgeable, and you need to involve in the practices. That's why it is top level activities. So strategy encourages participation. People, somehow it also encourages. People will become more motivated when you are successfully implementing strategies. And it must always situation based, condition based. In same situation, you can adopt multiple strategies. So that's why it is strategy. The meaning of strategy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Vartaman, if you are getting a question, so choto capsule ti tome pailo, the capsule what I have given, I hope if you can remember this capsule, then there is no need to remember it. Only remember this capsule and read it, try to find out, try to relate. Now break your head, apply the logic. And in that you can define. Jodi tome already you have appeared the examination, ei jodi cheat nei ki jaucho, yaku nocho, taku nocho. So It is hell of affair. So it is very difficult to answer the questions in that way. Rather, just apply your logic, you can clear the paper easily. So what strategy is? This is all about your strategies which are applied in the organization. Okay. Now you may get a question, define strategy, discuss the nature and characteristics of strategy. These are the nature and characteristics. Now write one or two definitions. Just write one or two definitions. Strategic management is a process. It is a process of implementing. It is a process of implementing organization's steps in critical situations in a different way. Strategic management always depends on the strategic planning. It is all about how the planning and strategies are linked, how the planning and strategies are interlinked. So strategic management is all about your strategic planning. With that only you can become a successful man or successful business you can develop. Right. Now, the next is the nature characteristics over, then process of strategic management. Process of strategic management. Now, what is that process is actually? So if you read the book, you will find different type of process in different book is given. But I will tell you a broad systematic process. It includes 5 steps of strategic management. So it is very easy. I am not telling anything new to you. The first step is your goal setting. Set the goal. Set the goal, the first step. Second is all about your analyze alternatives. So set the goal, analyze the alternatives. So alternative you need to keep always in your head. Then next is your formulation of strategy. Then formulate the strategies. Whatever strategy you need to take, formulate that. Then next is implementation of strategy. Implement it. Then next is evaluate the strategy. বুঝিপারল? কিচ্ছি নাই, 5টা step I have discussed. If you are getting the process of, write down the process of strategic management. The first step is set the goal. Okay, so now we are in a critical situation. It is not the beginning. You are an ongoing business unit. You are working in an ongoing business unit, and you are the head. You are the leader. Now, what happens? You are facing an unforeseen. You are in a condition where you do not know where to move, because the crisis and the challenges are there in that way. Then what is there? You need to set the goal at that point of time related to the origin goal. Origin goal is there. So related to that, you set the goal, analyze the alternative steps. Whatever the steps are to be taken, that is to be analyzed. Then formulation of strategy. Form the different strategies which are to be taken. In that point, I will describe for this so that you can write those 5 points. Then implement it. Implement those steps. Then once it is implemented, see the result and evaluate the strategy, whether you have achieved or you have not achieved. If you have achieved, then up to what extent you have achieved, how much you have achieved, right? Now, now this is what is all about your process of strategic management. Now set the goal. Just write 1 or 2 lines in each of the steps. Now just write down, setting of the goal is always based on the origin. What is that origin? The initial goal you have set in the organization. The initial goal you have set in the organization. Now here, setting up the goal in the critical situation is always challenging. So setting up the goal in a critical situation is always challenging because strategies are situation based. On that point of time, you need to analyze the condition. You need to analyze the situation. How much manpower is there in my hand? How much resources, physical and manpower resources are available? You need to analyze such. Then you need to set the goal. You need to set the target and priorities to be considered in that. So whatever points are to be set in setting up the goal, analysis of the manpower as well as physical support. Write down, in setting up the goal, you need to analyze the manpower and physical support. Then the origin of the goal is not to be deviated. The origin goal is not to be deviated. Considering that, we need to set the goal. Okay. Next is, that means the vision mission. What is vision? What is mission? How the vision missions are to be set of a new company or an existing company, how to rewrite those, what is SWOT analysis, those things we will discuss. But here, setting the goal is all depends on the origin goal. Okay, then we need to think of the physical support and manpower support. Then you need to think of the other parameters, like another is your then once the goal is identified, then priority is to be given. Because when we are thinking of rewrite the goal, based on the origin goal, then priority is to be considered. Which one is to be done first? Which one is to be completed next? So priority is to be given. Importance is to be given. Okay. Then once it is done, then analyze the activities and alternatives. We need to analyze the activities and alternatives. So here we need to get sufficient informations, data, so your past record, achievements, all those things are to be collected. What it includes? The informations, data, past achievements, records are to be collected. Now here we need to collect the data and information of your own company as well as the company with whom you are competing. Right? Now you need to collect the data and information of your own company as well as the information of the company with whom you are competing. Right? With whom you are fighting. So all the informations are to be analyzed. Right? Now these are the steps are to be taken. Then here we need to analyze the capability and potential of the manpower as well as the physical support. Whether we have that kind of support to achieve or to move both manpower skill components and the physical skill components. All those things have to be analyzed. So the people, those with whom we will formulate the strategy and implement it, whether they have that kind of capability or skill. So strategy re gote jinsa rahila, sabale we analyze the skill components of the employees. We always try to find out the skill components of the employees or the participants or the supporter with whom we are working. Now, this is all about the analysis part. Once it is there, then you need to form this strategy, formulation of strategy. Now, this formulation of strategy is all about it is all about moving with steps. Moving with steps. So here we have analyzed it and we need to discuss. At this point, we have analyzed a small group or one man analyzed it. Then here when we are formulating the strategy, at that point of time, we need to discuss with people, with the participants. So here we'll start disclosing So that what will happen? The group will be formed and the strategy will also be formed. So with the alternatives. So what is that? Discussions. Here what is to be done? Discussions, arranging of meetings, confidential meetings. Okay, then one kind of discussions are there. So with that, it will set the mind in this step it will set the mind and the role, responsibility, all are identified. What are the different type of role are to be played by different group of person, and who is responsible for what, these are basically identified, right? So these are the things are set in for formulation of strategies. Next, once it is done, the next is implementation of strategy. That means it is time to take action. It is time to take action. Now, implementation of strategy, just write it 1 or 2 lines. The implementation of strategy is always based on the situation. It is based on the situation. Write 1 or 2 lines in that. It is based on the situation and circumstances. And the power is given to the concerned person. Now, once we are implementing this strategy, the power is not with the person here. The power is there given to the person who is in the front. Right? When we are implementing strategy, we need to delegate the power. We need to decentralize it. So that what will happen? Now it is their soul. Let them do it. It is not the part of the job who is in the top. He has delegated here. So now we have analyzed all. Now here what we are doing, we have delegated the power and then need to take the action. Now it is action oriented. Now once we have taken this step, here we are calculating the ROI, return investment, what return you are getting. We need to evaluate. Right? So here what happens? There are, in fact, in all the decisions, we identify 3 clauses. 3 clauses. What are those 3 clauses? One clause is identified as agreed target. Okay, how much target? What is that target which we have, all of us have agreed to achieve? That is agreed target, 80. Then we have attended, we have implemented these steps. Then another 80 is your achieved target. We have achieved it. Now, up to what extent? Certainly, if we have adopted a systematic approach, we will certainly achieve. We will certainly achieve. If we have adopted a systematic practices, we will certainly achieve the target. Now, up to what extent we have achieved, the another 80 is included. This is all about your analysis of target. Now, this analysis reflects the work, reflects the value of strategy. This reflects the result of strategy, the volume which we have achieved. Now, this 380 describes the entire practices. The first is that we have agreed to achieve that target, then we have achieved with proper research. Then after achievement, we think of analyzing the target, up to what extent we have achieved, up to what volume we have achieved, and with the value and worth of achievement.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what I have discussed in this class, I discussed 3 things. One is that I defined the strategic management. Okay, I defined the nature characteristics. I have also defined the process of strategy. 50% of the is over. Right? I hope the students from your side who have attended, who have listened to me, and who have written the statements, the definition what I have stated here in this class, will certainly define the task.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, return on investment evaluation skill. तापटी आउथर कहले.
Whoटा कहला बाबा?
Last रे जो कहले return on investment
evaluation of strategy. So we are here evaluating how much return we have achieved. What the return which we have achieved. So that is always there. jette jagare ame koruche, even in fact you are investing 100 rupees, you are depositing 100 rupees in the bank, so after a month you are checking how much return you got from that 100 rupees. Right? Now that is required. It is judging the practices. So why it is required? Without evaluation we cannot develop. So training development ame kon karu, evaluation karu after completion of the training development program. It is not to find out where is the mistake, rather it is to find out where are the points where we can develop more. Fact finding is all related to growth. Fact finding is not always related to finding the mistakes. If I am pointing something, that means I am trying to develop, I am trying to grow. So this evaluation is a positive statement where we need to find out where we can excel, where we can grow, where we can develop, so that next time when we'll implement strategy, we can do in a different way. Strategy is always doing the thing in a different manner. If you are doing it in the same manner, then it will never be considered as strategy. We know your steps. And I am trying to say empty bouquet. We know that the person is always doing like that. Say in the bouquet, barking dogs seldom. But you need to take steps. You need to change your practice so that people will feel fear to faith. Okay.
Yes,
Next
sir.
class, I will discuss about
sir. Okay,
business
sir.
policy. What is business policy and how it is related with strategic management. I will define what business is, what do you mean by policy, and how strategy and policy are different from each other, and role of the strategic manager. With that, I will complete unit 1. Okay. Anything if you want to share with me, please, or shall I leave? Anything? Or shall I leave?
Analysis of target. Sir, analysis of target can again explain.
Analysis of achievement. What achievement you have achieved. So there are always 3 terminologies are there in strategic management. First, in that, what you have agreed, all of us have agreed to achieve. Then that is agreed target is set by a small group of persons. Then achieved target. Achieved target is a big group of persons. They are big group because many are involved. Then analysis of target, these linkages between the small group practices and a big group implementation. So here we need to analyze the target. A small group have said it is not a general practice. It is one kind of strategies which are adopted, but in fact they have analyzed a group of person, a one-man show. 4 or 5 persons have ए जो entire एबे जो war हला एटी कोन भाबुछ गोटे पूरा गोटे राज्य राष्ट्र ता भीतर इन्वॉल्व थिला नो a small group of person 4 5 6 जण ता भीतर इन्वॉल्व थिले and they have set these strategies and what happened a big group bigger than this group were used for the achievement of this strategy what was set by this small group. Okay, now this coordination between this small group and this bigger group is to be analyzed. And here also we need to analyze where we have made mistakes or we can do better. So that is all about your analysis of the target. Then we can set it once again. We can change our steps. If you are not able to, that one point just try to remember, if that evaluation process is not there, even if you have achieved the target, then you cannot implement a new strategy next time. Now the analysis of target always defines the implementation of new strategy. If you want to do or if you want to work with different kind of strategies, then analysis plays a vital role. It is all about your research. It is all about your evaluation. It is all about your assessment. It is all about your examination. It is all about your analysis. right? So with that only, we can go with a different kind of strategy when we will face these similar situations. So this analysis leads to the multiple strategy which you can take in future.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I hope you can remember the definition what I have discussed initially. So strategy is a systematic practice. It is top level practice. It includes tricks and techniques. Okay, it is sudden or instant. It is never agro announce करके आसेनी. बुझी पारलो ना नहीं? But we always aware the people. जो साइरन बाजिबो हमें आगुर कोण हमको आगुर aware करा होतला. So knowledge दिया होतला. Okay, but केतेबेले बाजिबो रियल टा हमें जानिबो. So this is all about your strategy, right? So, and strategy is always win-win now. Strategy apply करूची माने हमें जितिबा. So, जदि तमे हारिला, we never tell that it is strategy. By default, strategy is always successful. Failure of strategy हमें कहबा नहीं. It is a wrong step हमें always कहबा. No. এটা ভালো step না. So that's why he failed. And he had adopted a very good strategy and he won in the match. ବୁଝିପାରିଲ ପିଲାମାନେ? ଆରେ ଅଛ ନା ଚାଲିଗଲ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then you can share others and leave.
Yes.
Now the forum is open to all. If any kind of doubt is there or if you want to ask questions, then I'm ready to answer. I have 1 or 2 minutes more. Okay. Or shall I leave?
Sir, hello.
Cool.
Sir, total our theory paper है sir को subject रहुची?
Theory रे तमरो रहुची तमरो problem रे कोटा कोटा रहुची. QMM is one problem paper, costing is one problem paper.
Yes, sir.
These are the 2 problem papers, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Managerial economics tricky paper. Okay. But QMM defines your logical aptitude. How sharp you are in that, in logic, that one can know. So it is a paper, mark fetching paper. If you have an idea, then you can go with QMM so that solving 1 or 2 problem, you can score good marks.
Sir, we can only change up to 2 subjects, no? We can only change only 2 subjects.
Change करिपरिबो जे बट करि दियो जदि चाहूछ यू अटेंड द क्लासेस. ओके आ भीतर तुम माने अटेंड करो क्लास को. बट मु केबे सजेस्ट करिबिनी कि लीव QMM गोटे पेपर जो थरे कि सबु बेले पिला माने भलो मार्क्स स्कोर करो. ओके सो गोटे साइड रे एम फॉर मैनेजमेंट आ गोटे साइड रे एम फॉर मैथमेटिक्स. सो थीटा जाको एम आर रिक्वायर्ड. So QMM is required. Managerial economics is also required because economics is the origin of all the commerce and management. Right. Then next is management dola. Tomar kon aukon paper rehla. Okay, costing. So costing gote paper tome janiya darkar because tome jodi finance ba accounts re rahucha somehow it is not related to finance and account, but still one should know that. Okay, then another is your corporate tax law. सेटा तो नित्यांत रूपे जानिया दरकार. रादर मु कहबी तमे बिजनेस पॉलिसी नियोनी अन्य कोन नियो. बुझ परलो पिला माने?
सर गोटे सब्जेक्ट कहले QMM आउ सर गोटे सब्जेक्ट कोन कहले तू प्रॉब्लम ओकर?
Problem costing and QMM.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
हैला रादर मु सजेस्ट करबी बिजनेस पॉलिसी तमे न नै कि अन्य कोन पेपर भलो पेपर नियो. Okay, so you will know more. हैला Shall I give now?
सर एग्जाम टा केबे हबो?
Hey, exam हबो जुलाई एंड रे प्राइम मोस्टली. We are waiting for the schedule. I hope the COE, Controller of Examination of Uttal University, had made the exam calendar, and I hope by July end the exam will start, and by August first week the exam will over. Okay, so that what will happen again in January we will hold the third semester examination with the first semester those who have got back papers. Okay, then January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So by July we will complete the fourth semester examination so that तमने तमर result by October पाइजिबो. जदि आमे जुलाई रु चिंता करू अगस्त एंड आडू करिवु आउ we will not get chance to hold the examination of August दिन. So हमको आउरी 2 मास वेट करि जाउ पड़िबो so that तमर जतले फोर्थ सेमिस्टर हे जिवो से 2027 न होई के 28 जनवरी हे जिवो रिजल्ट बाहर. So सेति पई आमे कोन करू टिके schedule टाको एते डेविएट करूना एवं we always try to give the result of fourth semester by end of September or October, beginning of October, so that 2 वर्ष रे तमरा कोर्स तम त एमति नवंबर एडमिशन नेचो you will get the result dot on time. बुझि पालो कि so dot on time or else delay हे छिवो result रे हम थरे दिथरा सेंति करिछु हमरो एक्सपीरियंस बहुत खराब एक्सपीरियंस थिला पिलांकर. हां तेणु एई गोटे दिटा जिंसो आउ किछि
सर फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर रिजल्ट केबे आसी
फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर रिजल्ट भाबुछि एटा हला 15 एई मास एंड सुधा you will get the result.
Okay, sir.
Okay. आउ किछि Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
sir.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.